So we're going to jump into Griffin Golf, Team Griffin. And as you can see here, let me clarify this before I even go into it. I haven't spent a lot of time clicking around on any of these. I just gave them a cursory look and said, okay, there's some things I noticed, but I'm going to be going through these with you. These aren't premeditated thoughts necessarily. So I like to do these kind of as a first impression as best I can, because I want to treat this as if I'm a new person here and I'm a potential lead, so that we get the best feedback, because that's really the only chance you have. If somebody lands on this, you want to help them understand what you do. All right. So right off the bat, you can see you've got your top navigation here. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I've got some strong opinions about that kind of stuff. And then you've got award-winning golf instruction. Team Griffin is a leading Western golf organization. Griffin. Okay. So right away, I get to sense like, oh, okay, these guys are award-winning. They at least say they are. And that's a big deal. And then I've got my year-round lessons and my gift card. So let's talk about what I like right off is that they have a call to action. They have two of them here above the fold. And what that means is that right when this page loads, I have an opportunity to click on something. Far too often, a lot of you are leading with an image that looks good or sometimes doesn't, but there's no button to click. So there's no CTA. And we want to make the CTAs as obvious as possible. Now, I would be curious which one is getting clicked more. And if you have any of that information, that would be helpful to identify having one CTA instead of two at the top, if you can avoid that. The other is that the top navigation here, most everybody is guilty of this. And I would say CoachNow has a little bit of this too. But what you'll notice when we do a specific campaign, we don't have any navigation on the top. And I would encourage all of you, because you're in the business of coaching, that if you have to have a bunch of navigation things on the top, you're overcomplicating your whole business, because you need to recognize that you're now putting people in a maze of clicking. I'm just going to click around, trying to discover if this is for me. And you're not going to really have people give you that fair shot. They're not going to look around as much as you think they are. The other is that once this is viewed on a mobile device, which more of your traffic is going to be mobile, especially if you're pushing people from Instagram, they're going to be looking at this on their phone. So what's going to happen is that all of these navigation buttons are going to be hidden under a 3-line icon, or what people call a hamburger. So then you're asking people to click even more on their phones, which people aren't used to doing, nor do they want to. So what I'm going to encourage across the board, and you're going to learn this over the next 6 weeks or so, we're going to try to simplify your offers so that there's a level 1, 2, or 3. You can have other things that you do, but we don't want to make them as prevalent, because we want to be very specific to the audience that we're trying to sell to. And you want the page to be scrollable instead of a map, or sorry, not a map, a maze of things to click on. So what we're going to be working towards, and we'll talk more about this in module 3 and 4, is a funnel. So everything is a sales funnel. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to understand who you are, what you do, more importantly, what you can do for them, and make them an offer. So if you make me click around, I'm out of here. Now, on the contrary, this style of thing works a little bit if people are already familiar and know you and you've sent them here to just choose something. But even so, let's make it as simple as possible. Okay. So as we scroll down, this stuff I definitely dig here. You've got your kind of packages here, and you can see a little bit of what's going on. Now, I do know that they use CoachNow. They might be using V1 for some of the video stuff. Not sure, but I know they mentioned CoachNow a lot. So if any of this stuff is outdated, make sure that you update it. But again, this is still quite a few things here. And what I'm seeing here is that I've got all ages, ladies, ages 14, 7 to 14, 3 to 6. So while I know a lot of golf coaches, tennis coaches, baseball coaches, but mostly golf coaches love to coach all levels and all ages of people, highly encourage you to find a way to be more specific with who you want. Yes, you can still do these other things, but I would just highly encourage you, because I think your bottom line will thank you if you're more specific. All right. But it's a good looking page, and that's always good. That's always in their benefit. So you got Sarah and Chris here. I don't see a lot about them. I see the language here, which is good. So our team embodies the golf nerds. Cool. As I get to see their studio, their programming. So in general, it looks really clean. They've got some testimonials here, recent tips and updates from their blog, and then we're done. So I guess my overall feedback would be try to reduce the amount of offers or a la carte programs that you're offering if you can. This isn't a mandate. Make this a one call to action, and I would include some testimonials up here instead of at the very bottom. And if you have a core currency, a metric you can identify that you help people with, that would be great. So what I would want right here is a hook, a story, and an offer. Now we'll talk more about this as we go, but this is a good time to introduce it. So hook me in, give me something that makes me know that it's for me. Tell me a quick story. That can be through testimonials. It can be through quick statistics, and then make me an offer. Try to do that as quickly as possible, and in that order as many times as possible. All right. So let's jump to the social side of things. I would say this is one of the better social presentations I've seen. And the reason why is now they're saying we teach families how to enhance their golf game. Interesting. I don't see anything about that here. Now that's a niche. That's a clear message. I would love to see on their homepage, we teach families how to enjoy the game, because then all the rest of this kind of makes sense. All ages, ladies, these different age programs. So I would really hone in on the family side of it, because I think that's a really cool and very specific message that I'm not seeing in a lot of places. The other, from beginners to competitive athletes, but really focus on the family, get the whole group of people having success. That's awesome. 25 plus years and train with us. So the reason why I like this is that they're not mentioning all the certifications that they have. They are being clearer with who they serve. I think they're clearer here on who they serve than actually on their landing page. And they have a call to action. So if I click the link tree, which I haven't clicked before, you can see that I've got all these different things. Now, to me, this is probably a little bit more than what you want to represent, because I'm not sure where to click. If I'm a new golfer, I don't even know what Operation 36 is. I have the Fold of Honor. Okay. I don't really know what all this is. So we want to try to be more specific if we can. But I like that they at least have a CTA, because most coaches do not. They just say who they are, and they don't tell who they coach, and they don't give you a button to push. Now, as we scroll down, you can see that they've got a very clear aesthetic that they're shooting for, which I think is really great. So they're doing this every other tactic for the most part. Yeah, where they've got these quotes in the middle, which is cool. They've got some photos and videos of who they're working with. So in the end, I think this is really great. And they've got a good amount of engagement here, 85 likes, 127. So this is really cool. So they're getting overall solid engagement for what they're doing. Now, Instagram, and the reason why I only focus on Instagram is because I think in the world of coaching right now, Instagram and TikTok are your best places to be spending your efforts, in addition to YouTube, depending on what kind of content you're trying to create. But I think you're going to have a lot of opportunities to get great leads if you're looking for a global audience, or really to dive into your local market by using Instagram, because it is such a visual platform. And coaches, you're actively out there coaching, and you can create content on the fly. You don't need to be standing behind a tripod, mounted camera and doing these long-winded speeches. You have real moments. So what I would encourage this squad here is to give me some more video if you can. And maybe this one's an example of it that I just haven't seen. Yeah, I would like to see a few more videos right off the bat of live coaching sessions, not just photos, but give me a moment. Give me a recap that you're doing with someone. Give me a quick analysis that you're doing. But have these moments that you're capturing during live coaching sessions, because what we've seen is those are the ones that really, really take off and help people understand how you do what you do and the types of people that you're coaching. All right. So now we are going to, that's the same one. All right. So now we're going to go to the club room. This is another golf business here, but a lot of golf coaches said they wanted to join in. So I figured might as well we'll do it. But real quick, can you give us an example of a hook, story, offer? So Jody, a lot of this will become a little more clear as we go through this. So hopefully I'll just give you more examples as we go through. All right. So the club room is kind of interesting from what I'm seeing, in the sense that if you do click over here, they sell clubs and equipment and maybe some training aids. I would say if you do have this button, make it maybe a little more clear that it's not just the Clubroom website, it's Clubroom inventory or something, just to make it more clear that this is what that is. But from the coaching side, what I can see here is welcome to the Clubroom coaching, and that's it. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve? I have no idea. And then I've got these tabs up here again that hide all the good stuff. So what most people do, and we have evidence to prove this over many, many years, is most people land on a page and start scrolling around. They're looking for what they need. And then they'll scroll around and then eventually they'll click. So this page is very short and doesn't give me a lot of obvious things of why I should even care. So this might work as a page if it's a warm lead, they're being introduced and all they want to do is book. But if this is someone that you're trying to convert from Instagram or other places, I don't think you're going to have a great conversion rate from this particular page. What I would like to see at the top is a nice image, maybe even a little video, whatever it is. But I want it to be very clear who you're trying to serve. Hey, at the Clubroom, we work with high performance golfers that are trying to lower their scores, and you have a quick testimonial and a cool coaching image. And it's like, I get it. Okay. And then again, the booking lessons part. Yeah, this is okay. But again, as we go through this, I'm optimistic that you guys kind of remove some of this language and don't necessarily redirect me right away without giving me a little more information. And there is good information here, but the format it's in, I'm not really going to read it. We want to try to make everything punchy and bullet points so that as I scan, I get a sense of what's going on. Okay. I do love that you guys got the CoachNow imagery in here. That's really, really helpful. But then you've got these other images kind of scattered as well. And it might be more interesting rather than to have a gallery of photos to stagger these photos and give me some context, right? So stay more connected. This would be where you talk about your remote coaching program. Boom. Talking performance. Here's our podcast. Boom. So I would stagger these with photo, text. And within each chunk of text, you would put a button for them to interact and hopefully purchase one of those offers or download the podcast, subscribe, etc. We don't just look at your golf swing. We want to help you develop every part of your game. And our philosophy is develop the human first, the competitive player second, love for your game. So this stuff is good. It's a little bit more on the bottom of the page. I would say, let's not bury this. Let's figure out a way to bring it to the top and add some core currency around it. Give me some statistics. Give me something that I can kind of sink my teeth into and then make me an offer. Okay. Now, when I jump onto the online remote coaching, good graphic here. Again, this is a CoachNow graphic. We can provide you imagery for just about every sport, especially everybody that's on this call. We have imagery and it's in a media kit, and we'll link to that within the CoachNow group. And we'll always be updating that. And if we don't have something, we'll try to make it for you because we want to help you tell the story. Now, the good news is here, they've got learn more and sign up. They've got the price here, your own CoachNow channel. Just to be clear, it's actually your own CoachNow space, just so that when they log in, they get a sense of what's generally happening in a more accurate way, unless you actually mean they have a channel within a group. And then we might want to talk about that. Practice planning, goal setting. So this is very similar to what we have laid out in the blueprint, as you can see, which is great. I would encourage you guys to take this a step further if you can and use a service called Loom or even your native on-device screen recording, and record what a space looks like. So if you have, most of you are kind of veteran CoachNow people, or at least you're working with one person, I would encourage you to do a little 1-minute screen record of what a space looks like that can kind of supplement this graphic. We've seen that work tremendously when you're trying to sell what the program is, because it's a lot easier to see it than to be told about what it is. The remote coaching, again, I would encourage you to make this a little bit easier to read, chunk it out a little bit. And I know this doesn't seem like a lot of text, but it's incredible what people will and won't read. Okay. So just always think, how can I make this more obvious and less text heavy? So if I do click here, learn more and sign up, how does it work? Technical doctor. So it's explaining who's involved. If you're interested, fill out the form. So they're doing a little bit of a lead capture way here to say that they're not going to just accept everybody. So this is a little bit of a slower process, but again, not something I would disagree with, as I've said, because I think it's important to choose the right people. So how does it work to achieve? I've teamed up. So this is saying kind of who's involved, but I think a video would help explain what they could expect. Again, give them a clear visual of what they can expect. Okay, so now I'm going to jump to Jay, his social media, and then I think here, sorry, I've got so many things in front of me. Then we'll jump to Hayden, and Hayden's actually the one here with us, but I did want to kind of highlight this a little bit quickly. Is you can see New Zealand Golf National Coach, TrackMan user, Clubroom Academy coach, and the location, and that's it. So if we're trying to actually acquire leads and get customers off of our social media channels, tell me who you work with. I mean, none of this, I don't think this part actually would be really a huge closer. A lot of golf coaches think that it is, but I think you want to use this limited space to talk more about who you coach, the results that you get them, and make them an offer, like get them to click this button. Okay. Now, if we scroll down, you can see there's a lot of promotion for this GC3 learning series. I'm not sure if this is still going or not. So one just piece of encouragement is that you want to think about your Instagram, especially, again, for those of you in coaching, as a very clear representation of your sales funnel. Okay, this is equally as important to your website. So if there's outdated information here, please clear it out. So this is September 28th to 21st. This is not available anymore. It's really easy to go through and archive posts. You don't even have to fully delete them, but just archive it if it's not something they can take advantage of now. Because if you get somebody to actually jump on here and pay attention, you want to make sure that everything here is helping them take some sort of action. Okay. This isn't a for fun vlog or a for fun social media thing for you guys. If you want a more for fun, get to know me kind of stuff, that's a very different level of social media that I'm encouraging. I want all of you, because we're in the business of coaching. We're not just here to share stuff with no end game in mind. Every single thing that you do needs to bubble up to somebody taking action. And so if the content here isn't helping them get to know your coaching practice, what you do, what your current offers are, why you're different, why you're better, then I would strongly encourage you to consider not having it here. And then if it's outdated, to get rid of it. Okay. So I'm going to move things around again, go to Hayden, and then Hayden, from what I understand, and Hayden, you can correct me here, bud. I think you're one of maybe a newer coach within the team, maybe someone that's actively still playing. So I'm not going to beat you up at all on this, but I would just say if you are actively trying to showcase your coaching skills and gain customers from Instagram, just take the advice that I've given you here and hopefully apply that. Okay. The other side, if you are a player and you're still actively playing and you're trying to use your social media to gain interest, followers, sponsors, etc., you can still take the same advice I've given you and try to just be a little more specific so that people are more interested in following your journey. Just depends on what your goals are. Okay. Now we're going to switch gears away from golf and we're going to go to physical therapy here with our buddy Gabe, who we talked to last week. Gabe is an extremely qualified, skilled PT. He does great he's like super, super knowledgeable. And what I want to do is make sure that that's very clear at every level as we go through this. Now, Gabe didn't have a social media channel that he referred me to. I'm not sure if he's using Instagram or anything to help with that. Since I didn't get that shared with me, I would encourage you, Gabe, if you're here, to entertain that and try to build that audience up, especially if you want to go beyond your current local market. Okay. Now, as we scroll down here, good news is, okay, Tahoe, this is a totally fine picture because we all know that he's in Tahoe. It's a beautiful place. So you can have a beautiful background that doesn't distract. You could also, on the flip side, have imagery of you actively working with someone and working them through some exercises, something like that, just to give me a more visual sense of what you do. But here we treat pain, inflammation, and damage at the cellular level using therapeutic laser and whole body LED treatments. Combined with modern methods of physical therapy, we've got you covered. Call for a free consultation. So what I like here is that right away, I've got a CTA. Call us. It's not distracted. Like the whole point of this aspect of the page is to get a phone call. Love it. Now, we treat pain, inflammation, and damage at the cellular level. Pretty dang cool. So there might be an easier way to describe that without putting it in without putting it in 3 sentences is what I'm seeing here. So maybe there's an easier way to kind of describe it. And imagery could go a long way to doing that if you do have imagery there. Now, one of the things here, if you are going to have the links here at the top, make sure that they scale appropriately. You can see how a little bit of it's broken. Okay, so you can see like the COVID careful, that should probably be over here to the right. This logo might need to be a little more over the left. And as we scroll down, we'll see a little more evidence of that, how some of this stuff is a little bit askew. So Gabe, I'm not sure when the last time was that you really updated this or if you felt like it's been worth the investment, but just if it's something that you do feel like you're sending people to as a way to close them, just make sure the formatting has been updated. And in general, we've got the feel well, move well, live well, like that tagline. That could even be up a little higher potentially, but it is right under the fold, which is great. You can see you've got these different therapies and all these kind of different offers and stuff here. So I think my main feedback is there's just opportunities to clear up the formatting here, make it more clear what you're offering. And then if I click into learn more just on the physical therapy, let's actually go back, to the performance therapy. Okay. So for scheduling, you're going to get in touch there, assessment-based personal training, performance, and you can see how it's kind of broken out a little bit here too. So, and you can see using CoachNow, which is great. This links to coachnow.io. Really no reason to link outside of your landing page to talk about CoachNow. This is a great opportunity for some imagery, a small video, and then making these bullet points a little bit easier to digest so that I know exactly what's in it for me. And then as we move along, hopefully these offers start to evolve to where they're more, not complex, but they're just a little bit more of value there. So I'm not going to stay too long on this particular one. A lot of the feedback I've already given, I think, lands on this as well. All right.